Have you ever thought what would happen if someday we use up all the resources present on Earth? Well, Elon Musk has. That's why he introduced the world to SpaceX, his praiseworthy American spacecraft manufacturing company. Now that SpaceX has already achieved many milestones within such a small span of time, it is on its way to achieve yet another one, the Starship. Welcome to TechSpot. Popularly known as the CEO of the motor giant Tesla, Musk often spoke about his dream of building cities on Mars. To fulfill his dream, Musk led SpaceX to build Starship that will eventually launch people into space. The launch vehicle was initially indicated in public dialogues by Musk in 2012 as part of a description of the company's overall Mars system architecture, known as Mars Colonial Transporter, MCT. In mid-September 2016, Musk acknowledged that the spacecraft would go well beyond Mars, and thus he changed the name into Interplanetary Transport System, ITS. In September 2017, at the 68th annual meeting of the International Astronautical Congress, SpaceX revealed an updated vehicle design, which was replaced by a redesigned concept that Musk showed in September 2018 for the second stage. While the Starship system vehicle development launched in 2016 as a self-funded private spaceflight project, flight testing of the Starship's second stage proceeded in 2019. The system is formulated to be completely reusable, implying the principal hardware components are not discarded, but are instead regained from space. The Starship will proceed into orbit and deploy its payloads or travel to its deep space destination, and finally return to Earth to be flown again, lowering the cost of the system. The spacecraft, made of stainless steel, looks absolutely stunning, sitting atop the rocket named Super Heavy, measuring 70 meters long, filled with 3,400 tons of cryogenic methalox. Super Heavy will be powered by around 32 RAPTOR engines that should attain more than 70 meganewtons of maximum thrust. Starship, being able to lift at least 100 metric tons of payload, makes itself more powerful than the incredible Saturn V launcher used for the Apollo missions in the 1960s and 1970s. Towards the front of the spacecraft, the upper stage is a massive payload compartment. When the upper stage drifts apart in space, Super Heavy flips over while falling towards the Earth. While coming down, Super Heavy will deploy steel structures called grid fins from the sides of the booster, helping to steer the rocket stage back towards its launch pad to be flown again. The Starship upper stage could be put into a parking orbit after separating to refuel. The spacecraft would dock with another Starship that functions as a propellant depot. While methane is the primary fuel running the aircraft, oxygen makes the fuel burn, the combination translating methalox. Refueling Starship for the return to Earth using Martian resources would enable self-sufficiency, making the trips more convenient. On August 6, 2021, for the first time, SpaceX stacked its Starship spacecraft on top of its Super Heavy rocket, achieving a height of 120 meters. The stacked spacecraft is the tallest in the world. If the launch stand is included, it gets even taller, about 145 meters high. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Musk is planning to locate around 40 cabins in the payload area, near the front of the upper stage. Though there's enough room to house 5 or 6 people per cabin, mostly it is expected to see 2 or 3 people per cabin, estimating about 100 people per flight to Mars. The payload would also have common areas, storage space, a gallery, and a shelter to shield the crew from the solar storms. The plan wasn't so easy to put into reality though. During the making and testing of the Starship aircraft, SpaceX came across a wide range of challenges. On December 9, 2020, Starship SN8, the first full-scale Starship prototype, flew to an altitude of 41,000 feet, conducted a horizontal landing, but unfortunately, it approached the launching pad a little too fast, leading it to explode. On February 2, 2021, Starship SN9 experimented a 33,000-foot flight, but it too was destroyed upon landing when one of the 3 engines failed to ignite. On March 3, 2021, Starship SN-10 successfully landed after a 10-kilometer flight. However, the vehicle was destroyed in an explosion 8 minutes later. Then, the Starship SN-11 was launched on March 30, 2021, to an altitude of 10 kilometers. But it crumbled during the landing. After so many failed attempts, finally, on May 5, 2021, Starship SN-15 flew to an altitude of 10 kilometers and was recovered successfully after a soft landing. Eventually, all these hurdles have led Starship to be a win-win for Musk, as it has achieved a part in NASA's Artemis program, which aims to establish a long-term human presence on the moon. In April 2021, NASA awarded SpaceX a $2.9 billion contract to develop Starship into a lander capable of launching astronauts to the lunar surface. NASA's decision disappointed Jeff Bezos, the well-known CEO of Amazon, who founded Blue Origin to get into space exploration, like Musk. Blue Origin has attacked Elon Musk's SpaceX by questioning the capabilities of SpaceX's Starship. It has posted an infographic on its website, first spotted by CNBC, arguing against using Starship to land NASA astronauts on the moon. In the graphic, Blue Origin defines Starship as immensely complex and high risk. While SpaceX continues improving the Starship, Jeff Bezos-owned Blue Origin is getting ready to fly its New Glenn. New Glenn is what Blue Origin calls the world's most powerful liquid oxygen and liquefied natural gas engine, the BE-4, which delivers 55,000 pounds of thrust. It uses 7 of these to generate 3.85 million pounds of thrust for the first stage at sea level. A further 2 BE-3U engines on the upper stage will be powered by liquid dihydrogen and oxygen. Starship takes a different road when it comes to fuel the aircraft. As mentioned earlier, the Starship will be refueled with a RAPTOR engine powered by liquid oxygen and methane, expected to provide 38,000 pounds of thrust. Using 31 of these on the booster, the spacecraft will produce a thrust of 5,400 tons. While New Glenn is expected to complete its first satellite launch in 2022, SpaceX has revealed the flight plan for the first orbital test launch, a 90-minute round-the-world mission that will take off from SpaceX's Starship development facility at Boca Chica Beach in South Texas, north of the US-Mexico border. The Starship launch site, known as the Starbase, is the same location where technicians are constructing new prototypes for the phenomenal rocket. The test flight without any passengers on board will culminate a controlled re-entry and splashdown in the Pacific Ocean near Hawaii. The company did not specify a target date for the Starship program's first orbital test launch, but Musk has said the Starship's first trip to space would happen before the end of 2021. The system could also be used potentially for space tourism and even for high-speed trips between different ends on Earth. Musk says that Starship could someday fly people to destinations in the greater solar system. According to Musk, if testing proceeds as planned and scheduled, Starship and Super Heavy could be fully functional in 2023. The CEO has also assured a lunar expedition in 2023 to the Japanese online retail billionaire Yusaku Maezawa, who will fly around the moon in a Starship with 8 other individuals. He also said he would launch one of the vehicles on an uncrewed flight to Mars in 2024. As SpaceX makes big progress with the Starship, the world waits to witness the billionaire space race turn the theory of space exploration upside down. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.